Has a great ring IQ. He has a great ring IQ.
Yes.
Fury is fundamentally sound for a big man. I mean, he does everything well. So who do you lay the advantage to going into that fight if this is a potential fight that may happen?
Well, I'd give the advantage to Fury because he's a big, tall guy, and he's used to fighting. Look, he's not. Usyk's not going to be a bigger puncher than Wilder.
Right.
Wilder, had Fury done 3 times already.
Right.
First fight, twice in this, once in the second, twice in the second. Again, how many times? 4 or 5 times that I'm done.
Right, exactly.
But he's gotten up every time.
Right.
So Usyk's not a puncher that Wilder is, but he's a fighter, fundamentally sound, and I think he knows how that if he went and fought Fury, he'd know that you have to tap the guy. Start from low to high, low to high.
Right.
And I think he'd do well. I'm not saying he beat Fury. I'd give Fury the advantage. Right? He's the heavyweight champ, but he'd be a live dog in that fight.
Oh, definitely. Moving on to another heavyweight bout that was very interesting. The Wilder and Fury fight. Who did you pick in that fight? And this is probably a rhetorical statement, but who did you pick and why?
I did a video because I don't want people to say if I said I picked Fury, oh, you said after the fight. No, I did a video before the fight.
Right.
That's what I'm starting to do now. I'm doing my predictions before the fight.
Right.
I picked win. And the reason I did, I said, for every one guy, there's another guy. Just has your number.
Yeah.
Fury's the guy for Wilder. Just is.
Just has his number. Yeah.
And I said, Wilder's a strong guy, good puncher, all that good stuff. But for every one guy, there's that one guy, and Fury's that guy. Right. So I picked him to win. I didn't think that I didn't know how he'd win.
Right.
But I know. But here's what I said in the video. I said, everyone keeps talking about how Fury's training hard, how hard he's training, and beep, ba boop. I go, what? Fury's not training just as hard? Exactly. And you see Deontay on social media hitting the pad. I said, well, that's exactly what it is. It's hitting pads.
Right.
I look like pads now. I know. Come on.
Right.
I still look like a world champion hitting pads.
Right.
So that tells you nothing. I said, and what did he do? But supposedly he had the strainer, he's doing this, he was doing that. He went in there and the most basic stuff. He went jabbing to the body. But what do you do? Instead of tapping the body, he's
right.
He used all his energy up in the first 2 rounds.
Right.
I couldn't believe it, man. You don't try to, put it through him. You want to touch him so you can touch him up and down. Touch him. Stab to the body, stab the body. Didn't think it didn't go over the top.
Right.
This guy ain't learned how to fight. And then he went back to the corner. His eyes were glassy. His eyes were his mouth wide open. I said, look at it. This guy's gone already. Right. Now you've heard since that, now you heard people who train him before said he ain't a big advocate for doing road work. Well, it showed.
Yeah.
It showed.
Yeah. Wow.
And he's one of these guys, he believed that whatever he hit, he was going to knock out.
Right.
No, that ain't true, obviously.
Right.
So there's a lot of guys. I know a lot of guys in the heavyweight division through the years. And I mean, fighters in general, but specific in the heavyweight division, that big punchers, they ain't big advocates for road work because they figured that what they hit, they're going to knock out.
Right.
Eventually, and they just do enough. And that's not the case, man. You got to, if you're a true champion, you got to train like that.
Absolutely.
And, when Mike Tyson was at his peak, he was an animal, man, training, doing road work. When he got beat, when he got beat by Douglas, what did you hear? He was over there. He was sleeping in. Right. He wasn't doing road work. He was playing around with the geisha girls. He was doing this, doing that. Okay. And it showed.
It showed, exactly.
So,
I had picked Wilder to win if it was an early knockout. I mean, no big secret. I've seen Fury down against smaller heavyweights. Steve Cunningham, who's not known for a big puncher, but
he's a cruiserweight moving up.
Right.
So
Exactly. So he can be hit on his chin. The only problem with the opponents is once they hit him, can they keep him down? But
no one's able to do that.
no one's able to do it. I mean, they've got to catch him cold where it's just like total lights out, you know.
Right.
But you know, my take on some of the mechanics of it is this. I knew somebody that was in Wilder's camp when he got the loss to when he fought Fury the second time. And I'm a big advocate of if it isn't broke, don't fix it. And I say that to say this. There is a strength and conditioning coach in Louisiana. His name is Mackie Shieldstone. I think, bar none, every fighter he's worked with, from Michael Spinks to Riddick Bowe's first fight to Bernard Hopkins. I mean, you know, you have to give credit to where credit is due. The man is a guru when it comes to sports medicine. And even though Wilder did bulk up, you know, I don't know if he realized that the more muscle you have, the more oxygen you need to breathe. And like you said, after the second, I mean, he was gassed. I mean, you know, with all that extra muscle mass on him, not saying that it's not good, but you have got to turn around and be able to generate or be able to hold that muscle mass and at the same time be effective, you know, while you're fighting. And he's not getting that. I mean, yes, he had a strength and conditioning coach in, you know, in his camp, but I mean, you know, you have to go by somebody's resume, you know. And I tell people like this: if I'm a law student and I'm just getting out of law school, and you got a cousin that hasn't lost a case yet, you know, who are you gonna pick?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, yeah.
No, Matt Shieldstone's been, you know, around the game for a while. They say he's worked with a lot of people. He really got his acclaim when he first fought Michael Spinks when he beat Larry Holmes. So
exactly.
And made his bones. And but yeah, but he's not the only one who could do it, like you said. There's others who could do it. It's known. He's known because he knows how to work with fighters. Exactly. And it is he's one of the best.
Right.
You got a strength coach. Who is the strength coach? We don't never hear about him.
It's a family member.
This is what kills me. He has a coach. Yeah, he's a new trainer and pads. Oh man, you know. Okay, I get it. What did during the fight? What did the corner tell him? The guy didn't tell him nothing. Told him nothing. He said, "Come on, man. That ain't how we train. We got to train how we train. Come on, man." What did he tell him? He told him nothing. So you know they got. He's not, you know, these guys that say they're trainers, you know, they're not the Angelo Dundees, they're not the, you know, Murphy Griffiths, they're not the Eddie Futches of the world, who's worked with a fighter. Well, you got to learn to talk to your fighter. Hey man, listen, here's what you need to do.
Right.
You know, Murphy Griffith, my trainer, used to tell him, sit there, Ray, here's what you got to do, man. Here's what we got to do. And you, in the 30 seconds, 40 seconds you got, he gives you everything you need for the next round.
Right.
And but this guy yells, "Yeah, come on, man! And now we train."
Exactly.
And then you go, man, you know, why is he in the corner? It's a sideshow. It's a circus.
Right.
So,
exactly.
That's why what happens. You know, there you go.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And I just, you know, when I had made mention to you know, the individual, you know, in the camp, I said, listen, you may want to, you know, reach out to this person, you know, Mackie Shieldstone. And the rebuttal was, well, you know, that's a family member, and we're not getting rid of family. So I'm thinking to myself this. I'm saying, you're always gonna have family. This is business. Nothing personal. This is business.
That's just it, man. Look, it's a science, man. Sports medicine is a science.
Exactly.
Working the mechanics, body mechanics is a science.
Right.
And if you don't want to invest in that, then what happened is exactly what happened. Now, people talk about him, you know, coming back. And Deontay Wilder, I like Deontay personally. I think the brother really got to get his mind right. I don't think he's right. Mm-hmm. You know, when he looked at fight, he couldn't congratulate him. He couldn't show the guy come over. You know, one thing about Fury is just showing humility. Right. You know, after his mental, you know, when he went through a mental downfall, came back, he's showing nothing but humility. Even though, you know, and you got to admire that. He went over to congratulate him, and he left the ring without congratulating the new champ.
Yeah.
or the reigning champ.
Right.
Lost a lot of respect for that.
Right.
I Deontay as a person, but you know, you show, and then he texts us a day or two later, congratulate him. Come on, man, it's bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I when I saw that fight, it reminded me with the theatrics, the Holyfield and Bo first fight. And if you can remember that fight, in losing, Holyfield gained so much more adulation from fans and stuff like that in losing than he did when, you know, when he knocked out Buster, you know?
Absolutely right. And it's funny thing, you know, after the fight, I get a guy put on social media or to ask me, you know, oh my God, what did you think? What a great fight. What do you think? You said you give Deontay Wilder more respect now. I said, first of all, always, I said, but don't get it twisted. I said, it was a good fight. Very, very entertaining. Entertaining as hell. But it was not a great fight. Don't get it twisted.
Right.
Don't get it, I mean, it was not, I mean, it was a good fight. Entertaining as hell, but not a great fight.
Right.
Because, you know, there's not, you know, one guy. No, it was entertaining as hell.
Right. Right.
Not a great fight. Don't get it twisted.
Right.
So I said, do I give Deontay more credit for what? He was able to champ. Well, he already had my respect.
Right.
Give him more respect? No, I don't give him more respect. In fact, if anything, he's kind of lost it from me now because of what he did afterwards.
Right. Right.
So,
and champions, I mean, I know it sounds kind of cheesy, but it's not so much what you do in the ring that people remember you as a champion. It's how you conduct yourself inside and out of the ring as well. You know, I'm just, you know, that's just my opinion, and I'm sure I'll get a lot of flack from that. But I mean, it's truth. I mean, but it is what it is.
Of course it is, and so the fact that people don't understand the difference between a good fight and not. But when you pay, you want to be entertained.
Sure,
if I'm paying, I want to be entertained. I don't. You know what I always tell people? I've said this maybe too before on your show, Del. That a great fight for me is a guy who's 2-11 fighting a guy who's 3-13, because neither one can fight a lick, but together they make a hell of a good fight.
Styles make
and
fights. Exactly.
So if I'm paying, I'll pay for that because it's entertaining. I want to be entertained.
Right.
If I'm paying, I'm not looking for rocket science. I'm not looking to figure out anything. I want to be entertained.
Right.
I want to think.
Exactly.
And so, you know, that's why I said it was entertaining as hell. But look, great fight. No, it was sloppy as hell. Deontay's sloppy. You know, I mean, come on.
I think it had a lot of drama.
Drama, good, very good way.
You know, the theater of the unexpected, and you know.
Well, that's what boxing is known for, right?
Right.
We're known. It's called being the boxing is the theater of the unexpected.
Right.
Correct.
Right. Right. And I don't think, you know, kudos. Like I said, kudos. I had made a post and I said, you know, kudos to Fury on the win, and I also, you know, gave Deontay props for basically being spent and fighting on instinctive. Because you know, I mean, that was just showing his heart, you know, after that.
Heart, right.
Yeah.
But man, for a guy who's supposed to be training this, that, man, he was dead after 2-3 rounds.
Sure.
He was spent. Nothing.
Yeah.
And he did nothing.
Yeah.
He's trying to stop it, and he's doing hard, long jab, and all. Tyson's Fury did a step back. Step back. Right. When you step to the body, it's got to get close to that thing. You're up here, boom, you stick it down.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Boom, you know, other guys, you know, now you want him to drop the end, you feint, go pop, you know, you set him up. That's he doesn't know how to fight, man. He just doesn't know how to fight. And I don't know why they ain't taught him yet.
Yeah, that's crazy. Moving on to a fight, champ, that just happened a couple of weeks ago. Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant. I mean, what'd you think about that fight?
Well, again, they asked me, I went on social media declaring Caleb is an excellent fighter. I said Caleb Plant, high boxing IQ.
Right.
Good movement.
Right.
Movement gives Canelo problems usually, and it didn't.
Right.
But good movement, good footwork, high boxing IQ.
Right.
Terrific. But the one he just can't punch. He just can't punch. not a puncher. He's going to have nothing to keep Canelo off of him with.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what happened.
Right.
You know, Canelo left him down, tracked him. He did, and Caleb had good spurts boxing, and then of course he kept banging. But what Canelo does, smart, but banging that body, keep banging that body to break it down, keep taking out of the tank.
Right, exactly.
And see what happened? He caught him, and then when he got up, you know, he staggered across the ring. You know, it was a matter of, you know, that's just, you know, it's just a matter of time, and walked him down and bang, 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 knocked him, and that's it. So I admire Caleb very much. I'm happy for him. He made a nice score for the fight. Right. You know, and I really like him for that. I love this kid's confidence in himself. I love his, you know, he believes enough in himself, and he came close. But you know, the pro game is a hurting game. You got to be able to take people out. Right. See, here's the other thing with Caleb is, I don't want to see he backed into the fight, but the 3 fights, what did he do before that were, you know what? He fought the guy, Caleb Truex. Yeah. Caleb Truex is a good fighter, but you know, before they fought the guy from Germany, come on, man. Yeah, exactly. And then he fought Mike Lee before that. Exactly. So if Mike Lee fucking butts or something, and then, I mean, come on, that's not going to prepare you to fight Canelo ever.
Exactly. And that's what I was telling somebody too. I was like, listen, number one, in my opinion, there are levels to this sport. There are good fighters and there are great fighters. You know what I'm saying? And normally when it's matched like that, a high percentage of the time, a great fighter is going to prevail, you know? And I told the person I was speaking to, I said, listen, look at the resumes, look at the quality of opposition. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you're fighting guys that are decent, when you get with an elite fighter, 1 or 2 things are going to happen. Either you're going to be in the event or you're going to get caught up in the event. And I say after maybe the 9th round, he got caught up in the event. No guy that is a world champion should be asking his opponent, hey, I'm not too bad for 21-0, huh? You know, like almost like, I noticed it's coming to the end, just don't hurt me. I don't know if you listened to Caleb Plant in the 9th round.
No, I did.
Okay.
I actually see the fight. I was at an event. Okay. I've read about it. I seen the replay, you know, the fight, but I didn't see the fight itself. No. Okay. What happened? What was it?
So in the 9th round, you know, Caleb Plant is talking to Canelo, and he's telling Canelo, hey, I respect your skills. Do you respect mine? Not bad for a guy that's 21-0. Listen, you don't listen. You've been called to the dance. You don't need any adulation. You're there for a reason, you know.
No, he did that.
He did that. Look at the 9th round, right?
He was caught. Was heard saying that?
Yeah, it's on video. He's like, not bad. He goes, what do you think about my skills? And Canelo's like short word answers. Yeah, you're okay. Listen, but that's still not going to deter me from what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? I think, I don't know what was transpiring through Caleb Plant's mind, but there's no way that, listen, if you're going to go out on your shield, you're already in the fight anyhow. Talking to the guy, all you're doing basically, or trying to do, is postpone the inevitable, because it's going to happen, you know, bottom line. So you just might as well say, hey, at the end of the day, I was in there with a better fighter. He has my number. I couldn't punch, but hey, I made a nice payday for myself, and everything being right, I'll be back.
He made a nice score, and but he was not prepared fighting all the opposition he was fighting.
No, exactly.
Which is going to lead us to the next fight. I believe is coming. The next fight.
So the next fight is Porter and Crawford.
Right.
Let me hear your take on it.
The reason I said we were just talking about it's going to take me next fight. Look, Terence Crawford, special fighter. You know, one of the top 5 pound for pound in the game right now. Yeah. Sean's a junkyard dog, man. Yeah. And Sean's fought them all. Who else did he fight? He's fought Danny Garcia. He's fought T. Thurman. I fought Errol Spence. Who's left? So he's fighting now. And he called out Crawford, right?
Right.
Crawford Uzi fought that I'm preparing for Sean Porter. Right. So Terrence Crawford is a better skilled fighter.
Right.
Yes, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
But but Sean's been into big fights before. For the guys that just, especially the Spence fight, which was everyone arrows are knocking him out 4 or 5 rounds.
Yeah.
He went the distance, and not that Bud Crawford's, but he don't hit harder than Errol Spence. He's not stronger than Errol Spence.
Right.
I think Errol Spence is the best fighter there is.
Right.
But that's, right now, that don't mean anything because he's been hurt and so on.
Right.
So I think, look, I think it's gonna be an entertaining fight again. Entertaining as hell. I think I'm picking Sean to win, and I'll tell you why. Okay. Just for been in big fights. He knows how to prepare for big fights. Right. He's used to when the lights go on. Not that Terrence isn't, because he's been in some big fights too. Right. Sure. Sean brings a certain determination, and that I said a junkyard dog mentality that Terrence has seen. Plus, they know each other. They're friends. Yeah. And Sean knows. And like I said, Sean knows what he did when he called him out. Right. He knows what he's doing. Right. So I admire it. Now Terrence Crawford. Again, special fighter, skill set, left, right. But we don't know what's going to happen when we get that pressure and we get that dog on him. Right. John trains differently. Yeah. Like I used to train different guys because I had to. Right. To be able to burn for 15. Sure. Sean, absolutely. Be able to burn for 12. Yeah. So, and his father, Kenny, has him training us, very, they call it the Porter way, and I admire it. It's unscientific, but it's effective as hell. Yeah. And he does go by, train low, start train low. What do they say? Live low, train low. Right. Live low, train high. To live high, train low. Right. Yeah, it makes sense. If you think about it, it makes sense. Yeah. And all, so I admire the fact how they do it, because it works for them. Yeah. And I think they know. I've been listening to Sean talk. He knows Terrence's demeanor. He knows the buttons to push. He knows that Terrence is always a guy who's got he's got that grudge, chip on his shoulder. And if you can get him to a certain point, emotions will take over. And I think that's what Sean wants, because Sean's going to be on right in his face all night long. Yeah. But and again, he's been in there with all the big dogs, and Terrence has it, and Terrence is moving up, fighting a strong Sean Porter. I don't know of anybody he's fought at welterweight, and he's only had 1 or 2 fights at welterweight. Right. Who's gonna be as strong as Sean, and give him that junkyard mentality? None. Nobody.
Do you see this as a possible a throwback fight between maybe I'll throw these 2 fights at you. Marvelous Marvin Hagler against Sugar Ray Leonard? Or do you see this, when you said this, Sean's got dog in him. Do you see this, and I'm going to put you out there, a fight between yourself and Alexis Arguello? Because you were in that fight, no doubt about it.
No, I wouldn't say me and Alexis, because Alexis was much more, it was much more experienced than I was. He had over 70 fights. It was my 20th fight. Right. Sure, as many fights. I mean, right. As Terrence, he's got more fights than Terrence. Right. But Terrence had, exposure for, big fights in amateurs too, and, right. and big fights in those. So no, I don't think so. Hagler Leonard, no, because Ray was coming out after 5 years or whatever it was. And Ray just moved for 4 rounds. Right. I don't see that in this fight. Really? Okay. I think Marvin took his time to jump on, just high pressure, and which he admitted was a mistake. Sean's going to be right on him right from the jump, but Terrence is going to stand his ground. And it's going to be, a chess match for maybe about a minute, 30 seconds to a minute. Then things start happening. Okay. But Terrence got to be careful, man. Yeah. He switch up. Sean's fought southpaws. He's fought guys with right-hander. Look, like I said, to me, he fought the best fighter there is in Errol Spence. Wow. And Errol dropped him in that 11th round, but Sean got up, finished strong. Yeah. Until he dropped. It was maybe a pick 'em fight. Who knows? So
I heard Sean's dad say, and I don't know if this was just for the hype of the fight, but his dad did come out and say this. He said, although we had adequate sparring, which was from someone in his camp, we didn't get the sparring that we wanted to get against someone like Terrence Crawford. I don't know if you heard him say that recently.
no, I did not.
Yeah, he did say that he had a kid in his camp that was able to, be able to switch back and forth. And Sean didn't let loose on him because he's an up and coming prospect. So with that being said, and like I said, I don't know if that was so much for the hype of the fight or that was, Sean's dad being honest and true. Does that change your perspective in any way, shape, or form or anything like that?
Kenny ain't gonna tell you nothing. He's gonna tell you nothing himself.
Okay.
First of all, you don't have one guy. You have three guys, four guys. I have.
Right.
So I always had four guys in my camp with me. So Sean's gonna have. If he don't, shame on him.
Right.
You have four guys in your camp. I don't see if there was. I have four guys with me. So you have three guys or two guys. One guy used more. We always have one guy for speed.
Right.
So that's water weights.
Yeah.
So water weight, and then we'd have a featherweight. So we'd have three guys that were heavier, you know what I mean? And then one guy was lighter for speed.
Right.
Then you come back at the end, you use speed more.
Right.
Beginning using strength, durable guys, bang, bang, built up that strength. But then you come to a point, then you come back and go for speed reflexes the last days. So Kenny ain't gonna tell you nothing. Right. So he's funny. I don't know how many guys he had in camp. I don't know, but I'm just saying I'm sure he's had the right guys. Right. Maybe one guy was a young guy that they went for speed, so he didn't take off on him. Right. Okay, but Kenny won't tell you nothing. Of course not. And then he says, just you never pay attention to that stuff. With that, when trainers talk to the press, you never pay attention to it anyway. It's all they lie. They tell you what they want to hear.
Exactly. To promote the fight. Are you picking around, or are you saying
no? I think it was the distance. I think Terrence. Terrence is a durable guy, good shin, a lot of. Wow. But I don't think he's going to be able to. I don't think he's going to. I think Sean's on his chest all night. I think back him up, and I think Terrence is going to have to use his boxing ability the most he's ever been. He likes to get flat-footed with guys. I don't think he's going to be able to do that with Sean. No. He may do it for time. Here and there, short periods of time, but he ain't gonna do it for a lot extended period of time. Yeah. And I think Sean keep back up.
I watch Sean's fights. I've watched Terrence fights. It's no big secret. Sean's got one speed. It's 0 to 100.
Oh, and the other thing is, you've always heard me say by Sean, he makes every fight ugly. It's gonna be an ugly fight.
It's gonna be an ugly fight. Yeah.
Not make every fight, but that's the key to his success.
Yeah.
He'll take it. He'll pull you down. He'll hit you. He hits you in the back of the head. He'll hit you in the ass. He'll hit you everywhere.
Right.
Now, I think it's effective for him.
Right.
Key to his success. The guy Errol. Terrence. That's what you have to do. Well, that's what he did with Errol Spence for a long time, which is why he was effective. He made it ugly. And then Errol, caught him with that shot. But same thing with Crawford. He's going to make it ugly against Crawford. And Crawford even said that earlier in the week. Yeah. Sean makes it ugly in the fight. He knows Sean's going to make it ugly. He knows that. Yeah. So he's prepared, he says. Right?
Absolutely. I think, if anything, Crawford needs to take a page out of Ugas when he fought Ugas. It was an ugly fight, but no big secret. Sean got a little taste of home cooking, and the reason why I say that is this: you never heard him asking for a rematch against you guys because of the style.
And if you remember, and a lot of people do, some people don't. Right. We were working for Fox. It was a primetime fight, and I was in the studio, and they said, "What did you think?" I said, "Sean lost." Yeah, Sean lost.
Thank you. Yeah,
who won that fight? I said, I said, look, I'm glad Sean won. He's better for boxing.
Yeah, sure.
We need guys like Sean, but he lost that fight. Yeah. Well, Sean got mad at me, and so his father. And me and Sean, but then Sean got over it. You know, he was talking for first couple of couple of times to each other, but then he got over it. He's a pro.
Right.
He got over it. I
Right.
understand this. But I told him, I said, Sean, I'm telling you, I'm glad you won. I told him, I said, I'm glad you. I said, I had to give my opinion. That was my opinion. Whether it's right or wrong, it's irrelevant.
Right.
That's my.
Exactly.
You shouldn't worry about what I say.
Right.
You got. I said, but I did say this. I'm glad you won because your boxing is better of having you be the winner, being the champion.
Absolutely.
So you know, then we've stayed friends since. Kenny Porter kind of always stayed kind of distant. He was more friendly to me before,
Right.
but he warmed up a little bit. But I could care less. It don't matter.
Right. You have to speak the truth.
I spoke the truth.
Right.
And the fight said, "You ain't no homer, man. You said we're like it is." Yeah. Even the brothers were saying, "Hey, man, you know, you say it like it is, man. We gotta respect that. That's what you got me for." I love Sean. His boxing is better. We're good friends, but he lost that fight. Now, would I love to see Sean fight Ugas again? Yes, I would.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, but maybe it makes sense after he fights Crawford. Maybe that's the big fight. Look, there's no secret. I think it's no secret that Sean's taking the biggest fights for the big money now because I think it's no secret he's doing a lot of television and he wants to be a commentator.
Oh yeah.
And he's good, and he's very good at it.
Sure.
I worked with him and he's very good at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's taking the biggest fights for the biggest money. But I think he'll step aside. You know, maybe less than a year. With it, maybe it's his last year. So he's getting the biggest fights for the biggest money and step aside and say, now I'm going to go into broadcasting. God bless him.
Absolutely. I think so too. With the landscape of the welterweight division after this fight is over, so we go into 2022. Where do you see the how it shakes out? Okay, you got Spence on the shelf. He'll probably come back sometime, maybe March or April. The winner of this fight definitely has opened a new floodgate, whether it's Sean or whether it's Crawford. And then, as much as I like him, he just seems almost like he's fallen into the abyss. You have Keith Thurman, who talks about fights, and
you just said he talks about. I like Keith. He's another guy to be friends with. He talks it. Keith, look, they're all starting to call him out. Before the guys were calling him, he's a big punch, and now they're all calling him out.
Yeah.
Because you know he ain't fighting regularly, and you ain't gonna look. Keith likes that. Like he's recently, you know, he was married a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years, whatever, 2 years ago, and you know he hasn't fought, and maybe he has hand problems. You know, maybe he's trying to let that heal, and now he's trying to get the biggest fights for the most money. I understand that completely, but you can't sit on the shelf, man. Fighters fight, so you fight. You know, so you fight for cheap money and do a tune-up fight. It's some guy get back in the ring in front of the crowd.
Exactly.
But that's not what he's doing. And I don't know if I'll allow him to do that or not. But I would tell people, I tell people all the time, they work for you. The promoters are for you.
Right. Sure.
Hey man, I'm gonna take that fight off the side. Give me some fight in some small area. For small money. Mm-hmm. I need to get active. Mm-hmm. But if you do go back to Sean Porter in a rematch, or a Terrence Crawford, certainly not Errol Spence,
right?
Even Ugas, and expect to come out and go under and shine. And I don't see it happening without fighting. Yeah. And it's been 2 years since Keith's fight. Over 2 years. July was 2 years. Right.
I mean, you gotta listen. There's old expression. You gotta either fish or cut bait.
That's it.
You know, and you gotta do something.
Right. Maybe that's what we do.
Right. Exactly.
And, you know. If you ain't fighting, then what are you? You're a guy who likes the idea of being a fighter.
Right. And then you should just do like broadcasting or something.
That's it. I tell people all the time, there's guys who like to fight.
Right.
There's fighters who need to fight. Right. Then there's guys who like the idea of being a fighter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I'm not saying Keith's a fighter, sure. But if you ain't fighting for a while and you're talking about then you're the guy who likes the idea. I mean, still, because he's in his 30s, no need for him to fight. He's done well for himself. Right. But if you're still talking about it, you like the idea of being a fighter. But I really want to be a fighter anymore. I don't know. And I'll tell you, if I'm in my 30s, I want nobody smacking me in the head either. I get it.
Exactly.
Fighters in their 30s, I had no business getting smacked in the head. Right. I get it.
Right, right. And I mean, if you've accumulated enough, and there was an old expression, I think, when Oscar came back against Fernando Vargas, somebody made, he's like, it's hard to get up and get motivated when you're sleeping in bed with silk pajamas on and stuff like that. I mean, it just, that desire, you're not hungry anymore because your plate is full,
Well, that's I guy once asked me, he said, when did you know to retire? I said, look, I said, when I used to get up, it was known that I used to do road work and, blistering sun, torrential rains, blizzard snow. I said, everyone knew because I loved it. I said, because I am, because the other guy ain't. And if he is, he better be.
Right.
I knew I retired when I used to wake up praying for rain. Oh, it's raining. Jump in bed. Oh, jump back in the bed.
Right. Wow.
It's a joke, but it's half joking.
Yeah.
It's just like you said, when your belly's full, you're not hungry anymore.
Right. Two more questions real quick. So right now, rumor has it that Canelo is going to jump to cruiserweight.
Okay.
And a lot of people are being very, how do you say, condescending of his opponent and stuff like that. Yeah, and I tell people, I said, listen, he fought 4 times in a year. He unified the titles. He deserves a. I don't want to say.
I wouldn't say that he fight by no means. This guy from Africa, who I do know,
right?
I don't know. I know.
Right.
Big strong guy.
Right.
Big guy. I don't know if he can fight a lot. But he's a big strong guy. And that's Don King's fighter. And I think it's the last fighter Don King has.
Right.
And I got friends of mine who work with DK.
Mm-hmm.
DK's a friend, and I know that, and they said this is like the guy keeping him alive.
Right.
Big strong guy, and they said the guy can fight a little bit.
Right.
So look, Canelo's hungry. He understands when you're hungry.
Right.
But you start fighting a guy. There's no catch weight. He's gonna go on about most maybe 180, 82. Mm-hmm. This guy's gonna be close to 200.
Right.
20 is a lot of weight for a guy punching on you. And I don't care if he can fight a whole lot or not, because this guy's gonna be able to take a big punch.
Right.
So I don't know. I think I love the idea. I love the challenge.
Right.
I just announced at the WBC convention the other day.
Right.
So I love it.
Right.
You're going for easy pickings, obviously, because nobody knows this guy.
Right.
And obviously they think it's easy pickings.
Right.
But could be a hit. It could be a mistake. That means,
Sure.
And it'll be interesting. Hey, look, I admire Canelo for taking on the challenges.
Yeah.
He wants to challenge himself as best he could. Nobody's doing that. The only guy who over the last several years who's done that has been Pacquiao.
Right.
Pacquiao's only stuff like that.
Right. Exactly.
Moved it.
Right.
Years, moving up weight class the last 2 years. So he's done, and Canelo's done it. I admire very, very much.
You got to respect the guy. When I hear people talking about, oh, he's fighting a nobody or whatever the case may be. Listen, once again, to reiterate what you said, anytime you move up in weight and fight a guy that can punch, and as you're talking about maybe 20 pounds, close to a heavyweight, basically. And anytime you get in the ring and get punched by a guy that outweighs you, or that's been up in that weight class, it's almost like the old expression: what weighs more, 100 tons of bricks or 100 tons of feathers? 100 tons is 100 tons. Period. When he hits you, you're not going to be thinking about, well, they said this guy can't punch. No, because you're in the ring, you're the recipient of this punch, and you can feel what's going on, So, I mean, everybody says, well, I want to see him fight Benavidez. And here's the thing, listen, I think Benavidez is a good fighter, but Benavidez has shown me one thing as far as discipline is concerned. He can't manage his weight. I mean, he lost.
Yeah, he hasn't been right. He's lost it on the scales.
He lost it on the scales.
But I'm going to tell you, Del, Benavidez is a headache, man.
Oh, yeah.
I pick him to beat Canelo. That's a fight Canelo doesn't want. Trust me. And the headache he don't need. I'm not saying he's staying away. He's trying challenges. Benavidez has been a headache for a long time. When I seen Benavidez working when I did commentary for his fights close up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
young,
Yeah.
strong,
Yeah.
hand speed, tall,
Yeah.
all the intangibles. Now, does Canelo face that before? Yes, but I don't know if he's faced anybody as fast as this kid. He takes it. He's fighting anybody as strong. Well, he's fighting this African guy, so he'll fight somebody as strong.
Right.
But is he going to fight somebody as hungry as this kid? I don't know. It's been a while. So my point, I'd pick Benavidez.
Yeah. So do you see that fight actually happening? It may not happen for Cinco de Mayo, but do you see that maybe happening maybe in September?
I would hope for the other Mexican Independence Day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if it ain't happening Cinco de Mayo, it should happen for Independence Day, because those are the two biggest fight months, 2 fight days of the year for the Mexican fighters. And those are fights that Chavez or the dates that Chavez always had. Now Canelo's taken. Smart, very smart, man.
Yeah.
So,
I think he's lining up his ducks.
And it's I mean, it's smart. Do I think he's avoiding Benavidez? No.
No, absolutely not.
Do I think he is hesitant because this might be high risk, little reward at this point?
That's what I'm saying.
Benavidez, not a big name right now.
Right.
He's got, but he just beat this guy and he's got, but still not a big name.
Right.
But I tell you, fight. Benavidez, Caleb Plant would have been a hell of a fight.
Oh yeah, yeah.
For how long it went?
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah.
But I think Benavidez would. He's a headache, man.
Yeah.
Big, tall kid who is fast and strong.
And can punch. Yeah. Yeah.
So, the discipline. He got caught up with the coke one night, one time.
Yeah.
The drugs one time, and another time as well, because he's a tall guy who's growing.
Yeah.
He's growing.
Yeah.
I get it. So he's got the discipline to make that weight.
This is what I tell people. Should that fight happen, going into that fight, Canelo would definitely have to use his experience and set traps and make Benavidez make that mistake and be able to counter off of it. And that would be his key to victory.
And plus, you got a guy who's tall as Benavidez, 6'1", whatever, coming at you. Yeah. He's like Tom Burns coming at you. Yeah. Ain't moving away.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, Canelo ain't had that a guy coming at him.
Right.
But this guy would hold his ground. He'd hold his ground.
Wow.
The one of them backed up.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Ray. I know I said 2 more things, Ray. This is 2 more things because I know you're a busy man, but you don't know how much I appreciate. Man, listen, out of all the people that I've interviewed and talked to, you're one of my favorite. I really appreciate it because of what you've done in the sport and stuff like that. They were even talking about one time Yusuke dropping down in weight to fight Canelo. And this is what I tell people. The risk has got to be worth the reward. Why would Yusuke give up one of the most coveted titles, heavyweight title, to drop down to a division that he's already, that he's already conquered?
The cruiserweight won the cruiserweight tournament.
Right, unified. Yeah, so it makes no sense at all. And the old expression, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. And it definitely doesn't make sense for him to do that. He's not going to do that.
And Canelo went. That's not a fight Canelo would take anyway. That's not a. No.
Yeah, the risk has to be. The risk isn't worth the reward.
Usyk can fight, man. Usyk can. Big strong.
Exactly. Ray, you well, for the people on the East Coast don't know that you've been pretty busy doing a movie.
Well, we did a movie that I produced. It came out in August, and we were promoting that. And now we're in pre-production on a project of a film starts shooting beginning of next year. Mm-hmm. And we're also in negotiations, finalizing negotiations for a series on streamer. We're dealing with Netflix, Amazon, and we're also dealing with Paramount Plus and AMC Plus. Okay. So all 4 that we're dealing with. So
So how can fans of yours or people that enjoy following you after boxing, how can they either support you or push it when see you?
I'm on social media. I'm at Real Boom Boom at Real Boom Boom, as opposed to the fake one. At Real Boom, I'm at Real Boom on Twitter. I'm at Real Boom Boom Mancini on Instagram, and Ray Boom Boom Mancini on Facebook. So that's that's the way, Dale. You know, social media is the way you do it, man.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or you come on now and you can do this, and you make an announcement. Hey, come and such and such. You know, watch the film, watch it. You know, that type of stuff. So people will be, you know, that's the way it's done now, which is it's a great way, man. Because marketing and prices for production costs and stuff. You keep the marketing, keep the budget, because you have to take out the budget for marketing and publicity, because you could do it all on social media.
Wow.
Because immediately,
you know,
over a matter of minutes.
Exactly. We tell the fans out there, guys, listen, there are a lot of movies out there. They have one called the China Heavyweight, Ring of Fire with Emal Griffin. But if you folks out there in the boxing fans that are students of the game, please, I beg you, you have to write Amazon, tell them to get it back in stock. The Good Son with Ray Boom Boom Mancini. If you want to see a video that is riveting, that is heartfelt, that is just reaches in and captures your imagination about the sweet science and what fighters go through and tragedy and triumph, please go get this video. You will not regret it.
Thank you. That's very kind, Bill. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Well, Ray, once again, like I said, it's been a pleasure. And I hope you don't mind in between your schedules when you're not busy, if I call upon you.
Do it again. Let's do it again. You know, one of the few ones I enjoy doing. One of the few that I look forward to doing. Because there's a lot of guys out there doing it, but you do it to try to be, you know, but you do it and you go, I probably won't be doing that one again. This one, this one, I enjoy doing it, and I'll do it again with you.
I appreciate it, Ray. You got a lot of views from the last one, and people talk about, you know, when I tell them I just do it, you know, I just do it out of love and stuff. And they're like, who is Ray Boom Boom Mancini? I said, well, first of all, you need to look that up, because you just let me know you're a fan and not a student.
Well, I appreciate to say who is as opposed to what is. I used to go, what's the boom boom? What's the boom boom? Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Well, Ray, again, it has been a pleasure. I'm not constricted to time anymore because my old IT guy had me on a timer and financial. So I'm doing my own thing now, and
God bless.
Hopefully I can continue doing this, and as long as I have you on and stuff like that, man, I look forward to it. And hopefully, if you're not busy, within a week or so, we can come back and talk about tomorrow's fight and
recap.
We can recap. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Ray. With all love and respect, take care and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, my friend. You too.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.